to another fantastic show. Hotline. This is your show. If you're a female veteran, a male veteran, or just a veteran, this is your show. Turn it over to that fantastic Commander. Commander.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm Commander Frank B. Thompson III from the Harold Washington American Legion Post 1987, and also the Senior Vice Commander of the 3rd District. Today, every day it's a veteran show on our show, but today it's special because we have a distinguished, I had to say it like that, because if it was up to me, I'd put a red carpet out here for her. But when they be saying boots on the ground, this lady keep her heels on the ground, in the mud, because, you know, hey, she be fighting for you women. And without any more introduction, I'd like to introduce on the show tonight, Miss Rochelle Crump from NWVA. UA.
Welcome to the show, Rochelle Crump.
Great, thank you so
Great
much.
to have
for
you
having
back.
Me.
I know you've been here
Yes.
before, but it is never a dull moment with you here. And we want our women out there to know that you're talking about someone that's an advocate for you women. That's it, right
Well,
there.
thank you so much for
She's
those
in the hot
words.
seat. We want you women to call in. I see there's an issue that we need to talk about, and it's called sexual harassment of our women in the military. And we saw that picture with Senator from Minnesota. Even though it wasn't as graphic as what came out of 45's mouth, it was still inappropriate.
Absolutely.
So before we jump into some of that good stuff you got right there, let's talk a little bit about why is it that we have so many of our women in the military being sexually harassed?
Well, I think we have to look at some of the past statistics that they've come up with. And one of the things that was standing out to me was the fact that a lot of that behavior is brought into the military.
Yes.
It isn't specifically something basically that, you know, our servicemen have gotten into the military and then this just,
Right.
you know, arrived. This is some things that pretty much behavior of those who actually come from a background of that sexual harassment and
And there's
assault.
nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely, and because they never got caught.
Right.
You know, and so when it's like a thief, when they don't get caught, they continue to steal. You know, so when we look at that, we look at how the military responds to it. That's the biggest piece. You know, what they are doing, and they are making some efforts.
Yes.
You know, they are really making efforts. Our legislators are doing more in terms of, you know, making awareness one of the biggest pieces, as well as prevention. But I think what they have to do is do harsher penalties,
That's
you
the
know,
key.
not the slap on the hand with the Article 15,
Right.
you know,
Jail
taking
time.
away pain. Yeah, absolutely. And then
Because
they
Article
become
15 only mean one thing. Either you're going to lose money or rank.
exactly.
Or both.
But to make sure that that stain that is on the military now carries over to their civilian status and that
Yes.
they're registered as sex offenders. You know, and that's something that I have not heard is
You
happening.
probably won't.
And because they do, you know, some of them may get some jail time,
Mm-hmm.
but I still don't hear anything that says that, you know, once they are released, that they're going to be sex offenders for 10 years or, you know, you're not going to be allowed to be around children within a certain feet,
Can
you know.
you rehabilitate someone like that, though?
Well, we have to know that it's an illness.
Okay.
You know, we do have to recognize that it is an illness. You know, anything that is not normal is an illness, you know.
Y'all heard
when it
that,
comes to
Anything.
yeah, anything. I mean, because that's just not normal behavior.
yes.
You know,
You're
and
so
so
right.
we have to look at it in that way. But we also have to have harsher penalties to make sure that it doesn't happen to them again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have to make sure that women are not afraid to speak up and speak out about it, you know,
Well,
and
isn't
never
it-
be silenced.
Is this whole hashtag Me Too, is it catching fire?
Oh yeah, it's really out there, you know, and I think a lot of that Me Too is not just from the military standpoint, it's from people from way back who have been, you know,
You're talking
sexually
about 20,
assaulted.
30,
Oh, yeah,
almost 40
absolutely.
years
in
now.
their childhood,
Yes.
you know, and from relatives
Yes.
even, you
Yes.
know, and things that they never ever got a chance to really talk about, and they've carried those dark secrets, they've carried that hurt and that pain and that trauma
shame.
all of these years, all of
Yes.
these years, you know, and afraid to speak out because one, they don't want to destroy their family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, uncle.
And yeah, the father too.
Yeah.
Don't leave out the
Brothers.
fathers,
Yes.
stepfathers. You know,
Yes.
they're not exempt from any of that bad behavior, that sick behavior. You know, and we just wish that more women would take
Come
the
forth.
stance of, you know, when it is going on,
Yes.
not to be afraid. They have to learn not to be afraid to, you know, speak out right then, scream, you know, holler, fight. You know what I'm saying? Because
What-
first of all, you don't know what's going to come behind that.
Right. But
That's
what,
the first
what
thing.
is the role of the men
The role
this
of the
whole
men
issue?
in this whole thing,
in supporting the women?
in supporting us, I think that you can have more awareness within the male dominated groups to talk about it. Because it's not like the American Legion, you're opposed to sitting down and you're bringing those things up and you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? This is shameful, you know, we should have to stand up behind women and say that this is not right, and we're going to stand up behind them for whatever they want to do, you know, to assist them and make them know that it's okay to, you know, to tell, it's okay to speak out about it, you know, and to fight for your life. Absolutely.
Women today are putting their lives on the line for the country,
Yes.
just like men.
Yes.
We got women coming back with no arms, no legs.
Yes. Absolutely.
They should get the same respect that we give the men.
Oh, absolutely. And it can't be one-sided. It can't be just one woman that we focus in on.
Yes.
One of the things that we have and that I deafen the ears of my organization, our organization about, not our organization about, is number one, it's not about one of us, it's about all of us.
Yes.
So we never ever want to really focus in on one person in our organization, and I tell them all the time, this is not Rochelle's organization, this is every woman who comes to this door, and those on the outside who need our support and help, is their organization too. You know, obviously you have to have some people in control and leadership, so that's fine, but it can never be about us individually.
And what she's talking about, sisters out there, is one voice, one vision.
That's right.
Okay? One
That's right.
voice, one vision.
Absolutely.
And it ain't no I, it's we, it's us.
That's right.
And that go for the men as well as our sisters. If you're out there in television land, call in. Let's talk a little bit more about that fantastic organization that you're running, the National Women Vet United,
That's correct.
and you have a fantastic women's center over on the south side.
We do, and we're so proud of that center. One is because we are the only women veterans center in the state of Illinois,
Wow.
and one of a few across the nation. You know, it's
Now,
so
that's a
proud.
shame.
Yes, it is. Yes,
That
it
is a
is.
shame.
And we get minimum support. You know, but we're happy to say that we're going to end this year in the black.
All right
We
now.
have held our own for 1 year with, I think we've had like 1 or 2 small grants, you know, where we're basically doing a project. And one of the projects that we're doing and had done previously is on the prevention and awareness of diabetes and how
Yes.
it is basically destroying so many of our bodies, you know. So our initiatives pretty much are gender specific. However, those ailments actually, you know, those things happen to men as well. So it's not so much focused on just women, it's focused on family. Family includes everybody, you know. And what we do too is we're focusing in on the 8 dimensions of wellness, you know. And a lot of what happens is that we don't talk enough about our health,
No,
you
we
know. And when we get out of the military, we lose all regiment that we had before. You know, we don't exercise anymore. You know, when we had to wear that uniform, we did what
Yes.
we were supposed to do. You
We
know,
got
and
up
one-
every morning.
didn't we? We went to
Let
bed.
me see. Oh, we got to call it.
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Oh, hi, Rochelle.
Hi.
How are you? This is Sharon. You know me. But,
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Okay. I wanted to ask you about the PTSD. Do you have anything in your organization where women can come, like maybe at your place for group sessions?
Yes, we do. We actually have peer support groups. And what we do is we focus on the different issues of, post-traumatic stress disorder. It could be about different topics of it, because certain things led to that, to the post-traumatic stress disorder. So what we like to do first is to start out, if you've never been registered there before, we like to start out by just kind of like chatting with you, not so much in a group, but individually to see how we can help you, because it may not necessarily be group that you need. You might need to start out just with a one-on-one, you know what I'm saying, until you're ready to do like a group, because everybody doesn't really fit well into a group, because you have to build that relationship with a person first. And you don't want to just jump into a hot tub while you're cold, you know what I'm saying? You basically
Right.
want to go into a warm temperature where then you feel like this is the place I should be. This is the place where I feel safe. This is a place where I'm ready to talk to my sisters.
Oh, okay. So what they need to do is just call and you guys will set up an appointment with them?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then we may have to make some referrals, depending on, just how extreme, the PTSD is. We know that we're not psychologists. We're not, into mental health issue per se. We are definitely a group of women of all branches of service, of all backgrounds, basically from peace and wartime. We have combat as well. National Guard, reserves, we have a lot of professionals in our groups, nurses, with doctor's degrees where they were professors, and it's a really warm climate there, so whoever comes there will fit in with something that we're doing or something that we can offer to them.
Okay.
Thank you,
so
caller.
much.
Thank you for your service.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Let's talk a little bit about when Pat Quinn was the governor, and he came up with the lottery for the vets. Do we know what's happening with all that money?
With the scratch-off lottery?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's public information. If you go on the website of the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs, it will list those individuals who have applied for those grants and received those grants. And I know that they had gotten in a little trouble at a point in time because there was accountability issues going on. And since that time, they have tightened it up thoroughly. It's almost hard to get in there in so many
But
ways.
then it gets to the point, what's the point of having the
Yeah.
money?
Well,
If the folks who need it can't get it.
Well,
the
they can.
organizations.
They just have to have the eligibility, number one. And it's accountability is what it's about.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to go through that process of having your DUNS number, and it's another number that you have to have, which is registering you with the state of Illinois and for accountability purposes, And so, those are things that people can go on the website. They can see who actually is getting that money. I know when it first started out, we were basically, because I was actually at the era as the assistant director when we started that scratch-off lottery.
Okay.
Actually, Governor Quinn at the time did not actually come up with that idea. Roy Douglas did, and he was the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs director at that time, and I was the assistant director.
Okay.
Governor Quinn took that as an ownership of himself,
Okay.
and basically, we got it done. I sat on the regulations committee basically to talk about, what was important enough to be able to have organizations to come in and apply for that money to do certain things, post-traumatic stress disorder, homelessness. We had a big fight, I'm gonna call it a fight because it was a fight, with the national organizations, American Legion, DAV, those organizations, because they wanted to take that money and have that money, and they do get it, for their service officers. Now, the reason why they wanted to have it for the service officers was because I found out, just because I had worked for the government for 23 years and worked with some of those service officers, that they were double dipping
Yes.
in the state money, working for the organization, getting paid, and some of them were state employees too. So when
Wow.
I came along, if anybody gonna get double paid, it's gonna be me, or we gonna have to break this ring up, you know, because you know one thing for sure,
Cut
I
it
would have
in,
been
cut me in or
led.
cut it
Look,
out.
I would have been led across the stage. I would have
Okay.
been front page news about double dipping, you know. But they
Yes.
quieted, they hushed it down, and that was their right to do so if that's how they wanted to do it. But myself, I did not let up from letting the community know what was
Yes.
going on, because they came back and they started trying to badmouth, you know, the leaders in the
Yes.
organization because we shut down their money. You know, it's a lot of things that they were doing, illegal contracts, you know, things like that. So now, you know, the state is really cutting it down. They've always had problems with contracts. So
Yes.
now they're more accurate in terms of giving that money to deserving organizations and more accountability in tracking it.
Yes.
So we have some organizations that are deserving of it. As far as like the service organizations being paid to do this work, I don't believe in it. You know, I was a service officer before, and I don't believe in charging for a service to our comrades, you
Yes.
know. Even if you're looking at it as a basic, okay, this is my income, do it off of something else, you know. Why do it off the backs of veterans?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just don't believe in it myself, you know. To each its own. I'm not knocking what they do, but for me, it's a problem. You know, if I'm going to help my comrades, I'm going to do it from the heart, and I'm going to do it well from the heart, you know. So, and you learn more about people when, you know, certain
Now,
jobs
how long
that
have
they
you been
have.
doing this now?
I've been doing this. I went to the military in 71, and I got out in 73. And in 74, I started working for the VA, and then in 75, I became a career employee, and I worked there for 23 years. And then I went to the city of Chicago on the advisory council, appointed by the hat that you're wearing, the Honorable Mayor Harold Washington. So he appointed me to that advisory council. I stayed on there for 13 years, and then became the Chicago Director for Veterans Affairs, and then went to the state as the Illinois State Assistant Director, as the first African-American female and African-American to be in the executive staff. So I'm proud of breaking that seal because they had not had that since 1945.
Wow.
So, you know, coming in the year of 2003 and breaking the mold on that was, to me, it was something that I can be proud of, you know. And I think I did a heck of a job along with Roy Dogus. I mean, we changed a whole lot of things, you know. And I think people are benefiting from that still today.
Yes. Let's talk about some of the other good stuff that you say you got coming
Yeah.
up, different other
Basically,
programs.
basically, the National Women Veterans United, as I stated, we're in our year in the black
Okay.
because we have
That's a
been-
good thing.
It is, you know, and it's been hard. It's a
Yeah, I'm
struggle.
yes.
We have a $2,400 month expense, okay,
Yes.
with no grants, no real grants and stuff. So, you know, thanks to those donors who have supported us, who
Yes.
believe in the work that we do, thanks to our membership who believe in what we're doing, who we do it for, and why we do it, who continue to support it by investing in it with their own
Yes.
finances.
And
As-
that's the purpose of a nonprofit.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then the thing about it is, you know, you just can't get money. You have to use that money
Yes.
too. So at the end of the year, what we're doing is we're going to bless a couple of women veterans who are in need of some services because of hardships and or because they have children. We want to make sure their kids have a Christmas. You know,
Yes.
we want to make sure that they got lights in their house to put the Christmas tree up and have
Yes.
lights. You know, for their home, and so we're going to be doing that. And so there's a lot of things coming up. We have a dinner dance that's coming up.
Okay.
It's on December the 29th at the American Legion, and they'll be able to call us and get that. And before we get off, I want to be able to give the phone number and where we are. And so we have that. We also partnered with the Carolyn and Karen Breast Cancer Awareness Organization, and
Okay.
in 2018 we're going to be doing breast cancer support groups. So we're really
That's for
happy
men
about
and
that.
women?
Men and women, that's
Okay.
right. And so again, I mentioned about the peer support. That's
Mm-hmm.
really important. And some of our peer support has been just things like about decluttering. You know, you'd be surprised of how many of us have so much junk and clutter. Don't know, just everybody just look ahead. Don't act like it's you. You know what I'm saying? But we need to do better with that. As I
Yes.
talked about with doing better with our health, those are some things that we can overcome and things that we're pushing to take place. And then we also basically have a new theme. Our new theme is going to be Rise, and we're going to launch that in 2018 too, because our initiatives are about accessing VA services and elevating women. You know, we want to go from that HUD-VASH voucher to go to that certificate of eligibility
Yes.
to be a home ownership, you know, and after you done stayed in the military for 23, 30 years, and then, you know, you get down on your luck and now you're in a HUD-VASH voucher situation, that's not a place that you really need to stay, you know, because you can do better, you should do better, and then we want to put that hope back into those women who basically don't have that hope anymore because of PTSD, because of military sexual trauma, because of traumatic brain injury, and other things that may not even, you know, they've come to realize that those things are holding them down, you know, so we're going to be doing that also. So there's a Veteran Women Health and Wellness Day coming up, and that's on Saturday, December the 9th at 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and that's going to be held at 2520 Southwestern Avenue, and they'll be able to go on our website because all this will be on our website
Okay.
probably by tomorrow, hopefully. And then there's a town hall meeting coming up, and this is important because this is Congressman Davis's town hall meeting, and basically he's going to be discussing current issues, charges, allegations of racism at the veterans institutions, at Hines, at Jesse Brown, and so this is a hot one, you know, and we
Yes.
really as organization leaders need to be there to talk on behalf of our constituents.
And if I may, to you veterans out there, what she just pointed out with Congressman Danny Davis town hall meeting, there is a major issue facing all of us as veterans. Unless you're 100%, you cannot get dental care at Jesse Brown or Hines or any veterans hospital in the United States of America. That is shameful. That is shameful.
And this is where unity comes in, you
Yes.
know, because as unified organizations, we collectively have to put the pressure. We have to put the pressure on our legislators. We elected them to do a service for us, you know what I'm saying? So we need to have them basically putting the pressure on each other to get that bill done.
Yes.
It needs to get done, you know. And that's the same thing with, and that's Dory Miller. You got to call her too. Dory Miller. Why is he not yet a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient? You
Wow,
know,
right.
that's been going on forever, you know. And collectively, you know, I hate to say it, but we need to put the fire under our President Trump, you know. He just might get it done. Who knows, you know, but if we ask not, we get not. So we need to make sure that that bill is still intact for this year and that they're going to try to do something about it. But again, that town hall meeting is at St. Joseph Missionary Baptist Church.
We have another caller. You're on the air.
Good evening. My name is Derek Tyson, and I'm the Veteran Services Specialist for Olive Harvey College. Good evening.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're very welcome. I wanted to call in and say thank you to Commander Crump for the support that they supplied for the Veterans Program, for our Veterans Club Baker program last week. They provided our color guard, and I want to say thank you for the service that you're providing to the community through your initiatives for female veterans.
Thank
And I
you
wanna
so
say-
much. We appreciate that. And it was an honor to do that color guard.
The ladies were so snappy. They did such a great job.
Thank you
They
so
really
much.
were.
And it's good to know that somebody is watching the show.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
So, you know, that's
And
that's
it's your
great.
show too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And he's a great service officer at Olive Harvey
Okay,
also.
great.
So make sure that you partner with him and, you know, make reference to Olive Harvey basically as a college that some people can go to.
Olive
you know?
Harvey
Yes, Olive
in the
Harvey.
house.
Okay. We have one of the strongest student veterans associations chapter out of all 7 city colleges. We're the only college that's been to the national conference twice. I've taken them to California and also to Texas. We're doing big things at our
Caller, I hate to run, but when you're having fun, time flies.
Yeah.
Rochelle,
Right.
nice having you on the show.
Okay, thank you so much. And I just want to just give our phone number, if I may. Our phone number
wrap
is, yes, wrap up, 872-73-2150, okay? And don't forget our comrades who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and we're
That's
mentoring one of them, and that is Simone Robinson's daughter. If you don't know who that is, that's why you need to know.